Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is July 25th, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the bank stocks keep on pushing higher. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So out of the United States at 4 p.m. South African time, we have a consumer confidence number coming out. Now, we are in corporate earnings season, and today we have Microsoft and Google publishing their quarterly earning reports. Now, looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, we're watching the euro slide versus the US dollar. And as we look at the indices, this is really a nice rotation where the Dow Jones trades higher and the NASDAQ remains unchanged. Now, looking at commodities, gold unchanged for a day where oil pushes higher. And looking at the stocks, the bank stocks, that's JP Morgan, Bank of America pushing higher. And looking at the tech stocks, they're really slumping. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin breaks lower. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to start with the Euro USD. You could see a continued slide to 110.95-ish level. I mean, it's really pretty much capitulating at this area. It's still on supportish area, previous resistance. So this is where I would actually look to actually see if it's going to stop retracing, maybe to buy it on a nice little move upwards as it does transcend. Now, looking at the GBP USD, doing the same thing, which is respecting its levels. It's hitting actually on a moving average. You could see it hit that 30-day moving average, which is a decent place for it to pick it up, but also previous resistance, subsequent support, and we see this across the board. There's much more validity to it. Now, jumping into the Turkish Lira, we are on our dead lows, 26.95, and we're continuing to just break out lower and lower, and we're just dead and then lower, dead and then lower. I mean, this is still, on the downside. Some tremendous potential here as it's getting closer to that 30 level. Now, jumping into commodities, gold remains pretty much unchanged after sliding, but in looking at crude oil, this is interesting. $78 a barrel. We pushed higher from that moving average. Once we broke out, that's it. That's what it happens, and this is exactly what's happening to the bank stocks. We'll see that in just a second. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, starting out with the Dow Jones pushing ahead higher, 35,500. We're 1,000 points away from our all-time record highs. Talk about a comeback, and talk about, is this really real? Okay, are we in recession or is this real? Because you speak to people on Main Street and people are hurting, but Wall Street seems to be much more aggressive on the upside and much more optimistic. Now, looking at the NASDAQ dead, where we have seen the switch here, where the NASDAQ, which was the stronger one, has actually changed character. Now, Microsoft is coming out with earning reports today with Google. Next week we have Apple coming out. Tomorrow we have Facebook. So things are still unfolding here. It should be interesting to see how this all unfolds. Now, looking at Microsoft today, we did retrace 345 from our highs of 366, all-time highs. So this is really important. Now, looking at Google, also did retrace a bit, not a lot, but did retrace, and it is still consolidating in its upper range. Now, what is interesting, if we look at JP Morgan pushing higher to a yearly record high, 2023 yearly record highs. So this is a big comeback for JP Morgan. And if we look at Bank of America, you could see that as we broke above that 200-day moving average on a daily chart, boom, right above it, and continued going about 60 cents. Now, relatively for this type of stock, that's a big move. Okay, that relatively is a decent move on the upside. So looking at the stocks today, Tesla did have a comeback after it had a big sell-off. Okay, that's kind of positive as it did come back about $15, which is a really decent bounce after it losing over $50 in that 298 to 258-ish level, close to $50, $40. But nevertheless, it did retrace. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, did break lower at 29,100-ish level. This is the first time we broke our support-ish level. this is significant. Okay, this does really mean that it may actually break lower. Now, I do want to see a fake out breakout to see if that's going to happen, because sometimes before we go higher, we sell off and we kind of fake everybody out. Okay, but keep that in mind if that does happen. But it looks like it's solidified that it's selling off. I mean, the volume is there, and that's perking up as well. This is Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.